Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So we read from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, second chapter, text 18. Antavanta ime teha nitya shokta sharirina anashino aprameyasya tasmat yudhashva parata Antavanta ime teha Antavanta ime teha Nitya shokta sharirina Nitya shokta sharirina Anashino prameyasya Anashino aprameyasya Tasmat yudashva bharata Tasmat yudashva bharata Antavanta perishable Ime all these Deha material bodies Nityasya eternal in existence Ukta are said Sharirina of the embodied soul Anashina never to be destroyed Aprameyasya immeasurable Tasmat therefore Yudhashva fight Bharata O descendant of Bharat. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Krishna speaking to Arjuna. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. Purport. The material body is perishable by nature. It may perish immediately or it may do so after 100 years. It is a question of time only. There is no chance of maintaining it definitely. But the spirit soul is so minute that it cannot even be seen by an enemy, to say nothing of being killed. As mentioned in the previous verse, it is so small that no one can have any idea how to measure its dimension. So from both viewpoints there is no cause of lamentation, because the living entity as he is cannot be killed nor can the material body be saved for any length of time or permanently protected. The minute particle of the whole spirit acquires this material body according to his work. And therefore observance of religious principles should be utilized. In the Vedanta Sutras, the living entity is qualified as light because he is part and parcel of the Supreme Light. As sunlight maintains the entire universe, so the light of the soul maintains this material body. As soon as the spirit soul is out of this material body, the body begins to decompose. Therefore, it is the spirit soul which maintains this body. The body itself is unimportant. Arjuna was advised to fight and not sacrifice the cause of religion for material bodily considerations. Antavanta ime deha nitya shokta sharirina anashino prameyasya tasmat yudhashva bharata. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. read 2 verses before also, because these are the vision or opinion of the sages. Krishna says, Nashato vidyate, vidya, those who know. Nashato vidyate bhavo, na bhava vidyate sata, upayorapi trishtontas, tvanayos tattvadarshivi. So the tattvadarshi, he who knows and sees with the transcendental eyes, with the purified vision, concluded. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. Don't make photos now, Allah. Don't make photos during class. You should listen only now. Focus on the purport. And you know what I read now? You heard what I read? Somehow. Somehow what? Huh?
Yeah, the body cannot be the soul cannot be destroyed.
Well, but there's also a little more. That's only in short. Also listen, put this machine on the side now.
Okay.
It's no needed. Just listen. It's very important to listen, you know. Hare Krishna. Those who are seers of the truth, Tattvadarshi, Allah. Who are the Tattvadarshi? What is meaning of Tattvadarshi?
All the same.
Huh?
Everything. See.
The seers of the truth. Tattva means truth. They don't imagine something. They don't speculate something. They see. They really see, you know.
Same like the knowers.
There.
It's in 13th chapter.
Anyway, we go on the verse now. Seers, the seers of the truth. Tattvadarshi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and that of the eternal, the soul, the Atma, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. That means they have studied the material and the spiritual nature, as described in the Upanishad also. Purport: there is no endurance of the changing body, that the body is changing. This is only the verse. Then text 17. That which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. And then today's verse 18. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharat. That's today's verse, 2:18. Om Agyatim Ranyasya Gananchana Salakayam Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. So here Krishna gives opinion of the seers, of the sages. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the origin of all Vedic knowledge. And he actually could say, according to that, what I see. Like nowadays, many of modern gurus, they say, I have seen. But everyone can say, I have seen, not? So, and you can believe it or not believe it, you know. So words are cheap, you know. But here Krishna says, it's not only that I have seen, that I know it, Also the great sages, the seers of the Vedic knowledge, who are recognized all over the Vedic treasure house of scriptures, from the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, Mahabharata, and so on and so on. This Vedic vast treasure of Vedic literatures, what does this mean? What is this Vedic treasure? It is all the revelations to the sages. Therefore, they're writing down this what they realized, not my opinion, your opinion, or just to satisfy a certain public. They were writing books. They wrote, because they realized something, and they realized not something temporary. Although they studied the material nature. In the beginning, we don't know what is eternal and what is spiritual. Material, what is temporary. We don't know what is sat and what is asat. We are ignorant. Om agyana timaranyasya gananchana salakayam. Chakshurun militam yena tasmai shigurave namaha. So we are born in ignorance, and with the ignorant senses, with our blind senses, and with our imperfect senses, we cannot know what is what. So therefore we have to listen to authority. This is a Vedic process, the path of the Vedas. Listening to authority. Of course, the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, is the supreme authority, but He Himself accepts the sages and the acharyas also as great authority, as His representatives, and He is giving them the same emphasis as He has spoken Himself. So, because whatever Krishna speaks, the self-realized sages just repeat. They don't repeat something different what Krishna says. Therefore, Prabhupada, he calls his Bhagavad-Gita as it is. Because he didn't interpret, and he didn't put his own opinion in it. He just represented Krishna's opinion. And Krishna's opinion, mati mata, my opinion, Krishna's opinion is the supreme opinion. And also the Krishna's opinion is ultimately the sage's opinion. Of course, many of these sages, there are two kinds of how knowledge is revealed. It is revealed from above by the mercy of the Lord, like Brahma, Krishna, Narayan to Brahma. He reveals to him transcendental knowledge. Tene Brahma Rida Adi Kave Muyanti Atsuraya 111 Bhagavatam Jamadya Sayata. Krishna, Supreme Lord, He is the origin of everything, and He emanated, He enlightened and bestowed this knowledge about Him to Lord Brahma, the first created being. Adi Kavi is the most intelligent. Through the medium of Saraswati. Yesterday there was Saraswati Puja and Vasant Panchami. So many they worship in the schools, universities like that. They worship Saraswati, the goddess of learning, the goddess of speech, that she will give us the mercy and blessings so that we can study and understand scripture properly. But there are two kinds of study of scripture, two kinds of scriptures, Vidya and Paravidya. So the Vidya is ordinary knowledge, ordinary studying in the university, in the schools. That's one kind of knowledge. But there's a Saraswati, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati calls her Shuddha Saraswati. She's actually a manifestation from the Lord, His Lord's energy. She's Rama, also, like the goddess of fortune. She revealed this Vedic knowledge, who is actually very Guyatama, very secret, very confidential to Lord Brahma. Because Lord Brahma, he took upon himself sufficient tapasya, so he became purified, he became detached, that I'm the doer, that I'm the creator, that I'm enjoyer, because he realized I'm ignorant. Everything around me is dark and I don't know who I am. He didn't know, should I go up, should I go down, should I go right, should I go left, should I go straight, should I go backwards. He tried, but he could not find anything. Only darkness. Darkness was all what he can find. And if you're in darkness, then what you will do? If there is no light, if there is no sound. We're all dependent on light that we can see, and we think if I see, then I know. But many things that we see with our eyes, with the sunlight, it's not the real no object of knowledge. So that knowledge, what is actually not be heard or seen with the eyes, and not perceived by the senses, the Brahma Shabda, the transcendental sound, this is knowledge. This is Paravidya. Like there's one in the Upanishads, one story of Shvetaketu. Yesterday I told about Nichaketu, but there's a Shvetaketu. Shvetaketa. And he went to Gurukula. His father sent him to Gurukula to learn Vedic knowledge. He had learned all the branches of the Vedas for 12 years. After his education, he came home very proud. Father, now I know. Father asked him, what do you know? What do you actually know? You know that what is to be known? Have you realized it? No. He could not give a word what he could realize. He only knew ABC knowledge, book knowledge. And that made him very proud. So father sent him back. Go back to your guru, ask him for that, to reveal to you that what cannot be heard and be read and be understood by books and by intelligence and by knowledge. The Supreme Brahman. Because Supreme Brahman, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya, Namedhaya Nabahuna Shrutena. The Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Absolute Truth, cannot, and also not the soul, who is in same spiritual part and parcel of the Lord, same quality, Chit Shakti, eternal, blissful, knowledgeable, not destructible. To understand Atma and Paramatma, we have to realize that. We cannot learn it by Vedic studies. Even if you know all the Vedic mantras, still you're not a Brahman realized. That means a soul and Paramatma realized personality. It's because it's not possible just by education. It's only possible by absorption and engaging in devotional service. As the Padma Purana is saying, Ataksi Krishna Namadhina Bhava Kraim Indriyai Sevomukhe Hi Jiva Do Svayam Eva Spuratyada. Padma Purana says, we cannot understand the Lord and also not the soul with our material eyes or with our material senses, because they're limited. We only can see That's what we think to see, according to our mind and our filter. Bhagavatam gives Rishabhadev, 5th canto, 5th chapter, text 5. He gives the example of different colors, yellow, blue, red. And our mind, who is a karmatmaka, filtered with the different modes of nature, red, blue, and yellow. We see accordingly to the modes we are in it, yellow. So, because I have yellow glasses. You are yellow, Prabhu? Huh? No, I have to take my glasses off. No, you are not yellow. Huh? You are white. Huh? Then I look at you with the red glasses. Hey, you are red Indian? And you have to tell me, no, sir. Huh? And another one, and then I put the blue glasses on and they say, hey, Vanamali, you are blue? Huh? And then you laugh, No. So we think according to our filter of what we are seeing, that's it. But we forget we are conditioned by our mind conception. We cannot see more than what our mind lets us see. Therefore, others who have other mind and other intelligence than we have, they can see things that we cannot see. Even animals, we think animals are foolish. But many animals, they can see more, perceive more than we can perceive. Like a dog, for example, or certain birds. They can immediately feel something inauspicious appearing before we check it. That means they have an extra sense. But that doesn't mean that they're God. Because every living entity has certain sense perception, certain perception according to his karma. Therefore the mind is called karmatmaka, colored by the modes of material nature, various modes of nature. And in this way we are perceiving the world. But we cannot perceive the soul like that. Because if we are perceiving the soul with the eyes of guna, we think the soul is the body. Another one thinks the soul is the mind. So ultimately, if you are studying Vedic scriptures and hear from the sages who studied the Vedic scriptures and contemplated neti, I'm not this and not that, like in Sankhya philosophy. And you come out, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that, and then I'm also not that. And ultimately they conclude, this is temporary, and this is eternal, and this is actually really me. It's not that what I feel and that what I see. It is that what is unseen in me. I cannot perceive with material eyes. I can feel it. It's the consciousness, the ceta. But the ceta consciousness filtered in the material nature, it is polluted, according to Sankhya. The 25 elements. One of them is ceta, then is ahankar, then is buddhi, then there is mana, then there are the karma-indriyas and the jnana-indriyas, the different senses. And then there are the material elements. So in this way, and there's the mahatattva. So there's in total there are 25 elements. And also kala, the time. And above kala and all these 24 elements is atma and paramatma. The atheistic Sankhya, they only accept 24 elements up to consciousness, the polluted consciousness. And the means including ahankara and mind and all this. And mahatattva, the combined material nature. But then it ends. But actually the paravidya of the more confidential Upanishads and Vedic literatures like the Puranas, especially the Bhagavata Purana and Padma Purana, Vishnu Purana, Naradiya Purana, Brahma Purana. So there are Puranas, Vaishnava Puranas, who are explaining us, that actually there is something higher than this material nature. That's the spiritual world, and the spiritual world is full of varieties. And we are part and parcel of that supreme absolute truth. Example Padma Purana is giving is fire. Fire is very bright, it gives warmth, it gives light, it's very bright, and there are many sparks inside. So if one spark goes away, comes out of it, it is also part of fire, but it's not the complete fire. Now Mayavadi, the impersonalists, monists, they say, Haribol, they give the example of the pot, clay pot. So there is ether or air outside of this pot, there's air, same air inside of the pot. So they say, break the pot. So what happened with the air inside of the pot? It becomes one with everything, with all the air and ether. But this is a wrong conclusion. A wrong conclusion. Because the soul can never become unlimited or big. Ayor anor aniyang mahator mahiyan. The Katha Upanishad says. The Atma is simultaneously small and also the biggest. So Mayavadi say, that's the proof. Atma is simultaneously small and simultaneously the biggest. But the Vaishnavacharyas like Ramanuja, he's the first who made commentaries against Shankara, Vedanta commentary. So he says, no, the soul is tiny. He can never become Vibhu, the large, unlimited. No, that's not possible. Otherwise, how the unlimited supreme can fall in ignorance and become very small and fall in ignorance? The Lord is also tiny. He's more tiny than even the soul because he is always in the heart of the soul. It's like the two birds in the same body, as we know the analogy the Upanishad give. And the two birds, rich in the same tree, Pipal tree. So one is enjoying the berries or these fruits of this Pipal. Other one is witnessing, sitting in the same tree, but is not enjoying and suffering if these fruits are here or not here. He's just witnessing and waiting patiently until his friend is described as Sakha, two Sakhas, two friends. The Lord is our best friend, Surit Sakha. He's our well-wisher, every well-wisher. He comes with us everywhere. But we have forgotten him. We're turning our back against him and try to eat the fruits of material enjoyment and suffering. But the Lord is still with us. He doesn't leave us. He's never frustrated. He's patient because he's everywhere, all the time. And the same in one place, in the spiritual world, situated. So he waits until we are turning our face towards him. And pray to him and see him as our maintainer and well-wisher, Sharanagati. Then there's Sharanagati starts. So Sharanagati only starts ultimately in devotional service to the Lord. If we recognize the Supreme Lord as infinite, absolute truth, never falling down, never falling in ignorance, because something that falls in ignorance cannot be the absolute truth. cannot be the Supreme Lord. It can be an absolute truth. No, partially, tiny. 10,000 part of the tip of a hair is described in the Vedas. It's the size of the soul, so it's very tiny, and it's anti-material. That means we cannot recognize it with material instruments, but we can feel it. We can feel the consciousness. That means as long the consciousness, as long this life force of the soul is here in the heart, and is floating, penetrating the body through the 101 arteries, then the body is alive. If the soul, this 10,000 part of the soul, of the spirit soul, will go out of this body, going out, it withdraws all the life. That means all the ingredients are still here of the material body, but it cannot exist anymore. It's dead. That's we call dead. The same body, when the soul comes back, sometimes the soul comes back, like Lord Chaitanya called the souls one time back. Son of, I think, Srivas Thakur. He died in Kirtan time. And then Lord Chaitanya found out, there's something inauspicious happened in Srivas Thakur's house, and there should not be anything inauspicious in Srivas Thakur's house, because I give him blessing that in his house no calamity will ever come. Premature death, starvation. He gave this blessing once to Srivas Thakur. But he found out there's something inauspicious in this house. So he asked Srivas, what happened? Tell me the truth, because I feel something is not proper. Then Srivas thought, my son left body. Lord Chaitanya was very upset. Why you didn't tell me earlier? I didn't want to obstruct your transcendental ecstatic dance. This is not very good. Bring me immediately to your son. So Lord Chaitanya went, he put his hand on the chest of the son and called him, come back. And he called him back to life. So the body started to move again, and the Lord Chaitanya started to speak with him. Why you leave the house of Srivas? So the soul told, because now the time, according to my karma, it was that I could take birth as a son of Srivas, but now my time is over. I have to go to another place. So anyway, Lord Chaitanya wanted to show with this example of the out-of-body experience of the son, the death of Srivas' son, that actually the body, as long the soul is present, it's alive and seems to be alive, and when the body is out, then it's dead. And when the soul comes back again in the house of the body, then it's considered alive. We can move, we can perceive something with our presence of the consciousness. So to realize this consciousness, but not only realizing consciousness like the mystics. I'm conscious. Yes, I know. I'm Aham Brahmasmi. I'm spirit soul. I'm eternal. I'm blissful. And they're relishing the Brahmananda, the transcendental bliss of Brahman. But there is no active service on that level. On Brahma Buddha platform, there is no active service. Therefore, Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says, from Brahma Buddha, when you realize that you are eternal, that's the platform where you can catapult yourself to devotional service, to engage in practical service to the Lord. Because our Svarup is Jivera Svarup Hoi Krishnera Nityadas, right? We hear this is our Svarup. We think, Svarup means what kind of form I am in Krishna Lila. No? First we have to understand we are eternal. That we are not this body. that we are spirit soul. This is on this spirit soul, the eternal relationship of this spirit soul is to be a servant to Krishna. Krishnera Nitya Das. This is Svarup. That's the beginning of Svarup. From that, Svarup will appear. Our form and our relationship, rasa with Krishna. Not before. As long we are a material and bodily platform and thinking I'm the enjoyer and doer, no, if I can forget Svarup Siddhi. Our perfection, our perfection of body or rasa with Krishna in eternal lila and the spiritual world. It's called Svarup Siddhi. This we can realize partially in this body as long we are alive. They're the Sita Babas. Not everyone who is a Sita Baba is maybe a Sita Baba, but there were many Sita Babas who really were like Jagannath Das Babaji, Gorkishore Das Babaji. There are many Siddhas. That means they realize their eternal relationship, rasa, in the Leela of Radha and Krishna, Nitya Leela. This is Siddha Svarup. And if you are leaving the body, because there's another, it's called Vastu Siddhi. The Vastu Siddhi cannot be realized in the material body. It only can be, it's revealed to you in the spiritual world. That means now we can realize our rasa in this body, following a certain Nitya Parishad in Krishna Lila, very confidential devotee, in Sakya or in Madhurya or in Vatsalya or Dasya Rasa, in this raga, in raga bhakti. There you can realize your eternal function in being a servant of Krishna's very dear servants in the spiritual world. But to attain that, we have to first follow sadhana and vidhi, following Guru, spiritual master, who is teaching us to control our senses and engage them in practical devotional service so that we can become free of bodily conception of life, upadhis, so that we can realize that we are eternal spirit soul, servant of Krishna, and following in service attitude one of the Nitya Parishads in this body. It's not externally done, it's a meditation. Externally you follow your daily duties in Dharma and in your occupation or in your sadhana bhakti process and duties, but internally you meditate, you are absorbed in the mood of a certain servant of Krishna in the spiritual world. You're not there yet. But after you're leaving this body, you may attain that by great mercy. And then there you will attain the Vastu Siddhi. That means the eternal form, the body with the dress, name, everything, and in the relation to Krishna. So that's all will be given there in the spiritual world. And this is the supreme perfection, Prema Pumartha Mahan. That's the supreme goal of life. So this process of starts with after we are realizing that we are eternal, that we are spirit soul, and that we are follow our duties, our occupations, either spiritual or in Dharma, Varnashrama Dharma, and at the same time realizing more and more that we are actually not the doers, we are not the enjoyers, we are the spirit soul, and the body is just like a vehicle, an instrument in the service of the Lord, and in the service of other living entities, to help them in relation to the Lord. That's this. Therefore, dharma should not be given up. We should stay in that dharma we are, and in that devotional service we are. Continue whole life with the body, mind, and words, and always realize that we are always in the knowledge I'm an eternal servant of Krishna, in relation to Krishna's devotees and spiritual master, and be humble servant all the time. Then gradually we'll become more and more detached from the bodily concept. Doesn't mean that we don't take care for the machine of the body. We should not ignore it, because it's a vehicle given by the Lord. So we should try to maintain it as far as we can. Like if you have a car, then you have to take care. There's oil in it, gasoline, batteries, water, gears. Everything has to function properly, and if something breaks, you repair it. You don't say, anyway, I'm not the car, so give it up, and then I buy another one, But maybe in the next car, what you will get is not such a beautiful as you had now before, and then you're maybe also not satisfied. So we have now a very nice opportunity. We have more or less quite a good car. The human body on this planet Earth is a good vehicle. It's a good boat to cross over the ocean of birth and death, so we should not spoil it. Bhagavatam says we should not spoil it. We should accept the captain as our guide and the Vedic scriptures as the favorable wind. Who will employ the boat to cross over the ocean of birth and death, so that we can attain the Parampadam, the Vaikuntha, the spiritual world. So as long as we have a body, it's our duty to maintain it, to take care, not to over. Atyahara prayasascha prachalpan yamagraha, in that verse of Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami says we should not overemphasize the bodily concept, to eat and to accept things. But at the same time, we should also not completely renounce it and say it is useless. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mitya, that's impersonal. Personalists, they understand this is Krishna's energy also, this body. He gave me this body. He put me in this body. So it means it can be used in Krishna's mission, in Guru Maharaj's mission, in the Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya. Like Advaita Acharya. When Advaita Acharya came to this world, he had his Bhagavad school. He had two Bhagavad schools, one in Shantipur, and then later on he also established one in Mayapur, where many young and all kinds of interested personalities came to his Bhagavad-Gita reading, Bhagavatam Katha. So Advaita Acharya, he was the leader. He's Acharya, not different from Krishna, not different from the Lord, Advaita. He's really not different, because he's Mahavishnu, Mahavishnu avatar, who came with the purpose to bring the Lord down. Tomorrow is Advaita Acharya appearance day, right? So he actually his mission was to bring the Lord down, because he's also Shiva, and Hara and Hari and Hara together incarnate as Advaita Acharya. Hari Hara is Hari Hara Das. So they appear. He appeared, to attract the Lord, to call the Lord down, not with smartphone or with some kind of material way to call him down. He called him down by his devotion, by his loud call. And he figured out from the scriptures, we can attract Lord Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he will appear if we are worshipping Shalagram Shila, offering Ganga water, mixed with tulsi leaves, manjaris, offering with devotion to him. Then we can please him. And by this worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with water and tulsi leaves, he had his, how you call this? He asked me yesterday, the desire. How we call this in Sanskrit? To have a desire to the Lord. Why are you worshipping him? What is the purpose of your worship? You had a word yesterday.
Dhyana?
Huh?
Dhyana mantra?
What's it called?
Dhyana mantra?
No. You forgot, huh? You forgot your own question. Which
lila are you
No. That means Advaita Acharya, if you worship the Lord, you have to have a desire why you worship him. Don't worship him purposelessly. It's okay, no problem. I will explain it now. So we don't worship him purposelessly. We worship him because of a desire. So Advaita Acharya's desire why he worshipped the Lord is he wanted to call him, please descend.
Salya?
Don't think anymore further. Listen now. It's already. I'm now in the explaining process. So please come down. We cannot force the Lord to come down. And we cannot also not wait when he will come. Maybe he will not come during my lifetime, and then I will not see him. So we will call him with earnestness, with full surrender, with love and devotion, and with the process what the Lord recognized, what the Lord himself established in the scriptures. Recognized by him. Therefore the Lord feels obliged to come. Although he's sleeping on Shvedadvip, taking rest, but he woke up due to the loud call of Nada. Nada is another name of Advaita Acharya. So the Lord descended ultimately because of the call of Advaita Acharya. But when he descended, he asked, where is this Advaita Acharya? He's not coming. I'm here now. I'm here. Where is he? How you can invite me and then you are not here? If the Lord descends, you have to receive him. Svagatam, Svagatam, and then do all worship for Padya and Arghya and Puja, and offering, palatable food and drinks, and fanning him, and offering prayers to him. So the Lord said, what kind of mentality is that? So he sent Ramai, brother of Srivas Thakur. He sent him, go to Shantipur. Bring this Advaita here. Tell him, the Lord whom he worshipped, the Lord whom he was praying for, the Lord for whom he performed so much tapasya and worship, he is here now. He's waiting for you. Why are you not coming? So Ramai came to Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya, of course, is omniscient. He's the Lord, Avatar also, Vishnu Tattva, but he played the ordinary role. But he immediately, I understand why you came here. So Ramai said, yes, the Lord calls you. The Lord comes, so you should come immediately with your family and worship him. Greet him, receive him. But Advaita, I thought I have to test him first. Because everyone can come and say, I'm the avatar. So go to him and don't tell him that I'm here. I'm hiding myself in Nandanacharya house. Mayapur, in Ishadan, near our Mayapur, Chandradoya Mandir, a little towards the Ganga. Jalangi down there, where you cross over on the ferry. There's on the left side Gaudiya Math temple now. That's Ishadan. That's Nandanacharya Math. That's where Nandanacharya, Lord Chaitanya's eternal associate, had his residence. And Nandanacharya was an, many devotees hide themselves in Nandana. Many devotees hide there, like Nityananda Prabhu. When he appeared in Mayapur to meet Lord Chaitanya, he also first went there. Advaitacharya went there. So when Ramai came back to Lord Chaitanya immediately told him, I know! Nada tries to tease me. He wants to cheat me. I know where he is. He's in Nandanacharya's house. Bring him immediately here. Call him. Go to Ramai. Go. Tell him the Lord is here. Don't try to cheat him. Advaita Acharya only wanted to see that. When Advaita heard that the Lord knows everything, he recognized, he understood, yes, it is him. Now the whole world will know now that's him. It's not just ordinary person who declares I'm the avatar. So he immediately, Advaita came with Sita Thakurani, with his wife, with his son Achyutanand, and they worshipped the Lord. Whole family worshipped him and offered prayers to the Lord. That's all described in the 6th chapter of 6th or 8th chapter, Madhya Kanda, Chaitanya Bhagavat, how Advaita Acharya worshipped the Lord. He actually called him because he felt all the devotees in Navadvip at that time, before Lord Chaitanya's appearance, they were so anxiety because they were so unhappy. Why? Why they were unhappy? Not because something was missing in their life. They were hungry or they were needy for something. They were unhappy because there were so many people in that pious city, Navadvip. Navadvip, you have to understand, Navadvip at that time, it was the most educational place in whole India. Actually in the whole world in that time, most properly. It was such an education place. So many students came there to study Sanskrit, grammar, and all these Vedic studies, That was the headquarters. It's like Varanasi today. Kashipur, today, Benares. It's a big university place where you can study Sanskrit and Vedic scriptures. So previously it was Navadvip. But mostly they studied this Vidya and this, ordinary knowledge and without really understanding what is the purpose of the Vedas. The confident, even the great Chakravartis, the Mishras, the Bhattacharyas, all these great Brahmana personalities who were great Brahmana scholars and worshippers of so many yagyas and worshipping processes, they didn't chant the holy name. They didn't chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or any name of the Lord, even once. Only in their yagyas a little, or in meditation, but never loud. It was forbidden practically to chant holy name loud, especially for those who were not Brahmanas. And even the Brahmanas, they mostly were interested in fruit effectivity, karma kandya, for the benefit of their families and other families, so that they had good, nice offsprings and nice weddings and and so on and so on, you know. All these samskaras, you know, that was the main interest of the brahmanas at that time, even today. Maybe even worse. But Lord Chaitanya and actually Advaita, those who came before Lord Chaitanya, who were actually sent by Lord Chaitanya as his predecessors to pave the path for Lord Chaitanya's appearance, they were very unhappy. Because Vaishnava is paradukha dukhi, kripa moya, we hear often. That the Vaishnava is suffering when he sees the suffering of others. He's not happy. He suffers. And actually the Vaishnavas suffered so much that they became sleep. They could not sleep anymore. They could not eat anymore. They lost all appetite, anything to do, you know, because out of anxiety for the conditioned souls in that time in Navadvip. And Navadvip was the headquarters. What to speak of other places in the world. You just take one rice out of the pot and see if it is cooked or not cooked. So Navadvip was the testing place. Because according to what kind of consciousness they had there, you know, the whole world that most properly worse. And then that's the Vaishnavas, when the Lord saw that the Vaishnavas were unhappy, he doesn't like that. Not unhappy because of them, like Prahlad Maharaj. Naivodvicha Paraturatya Vaitranyas Dvatviragayana Mahamrita Magna Chita So Chevi Mukhase Chetasa Indriyata Maya Sukhaya Param Udvahato Vimudhan. He was lamenting or unhappy for the fools who make elaborate plans in this material world to become happy in a world where there is actually no eternal happiness. Brahma Sukha, they have no interest. Only material, temporary happiness. And they want to try to expand it unlimitedly. But it's not possible. And therefore the conditioned soul always is frustrated, ultimately unhappy, because his plans are baffled by Maya. Parabhava yavad yabodha chata yavana jigyasata atma tattvam. Parabhava. One symptom of material life is parabhava. Parabhava. Defeat. Everything becomes defeated. All our plans for happiness and success ultimately is defeated. According to Sanskrit alphabet, there's this word, what's it called? Pavarga. Pavarga and apavarga. So pavarga is means 5 conditionings. 5 conditionings is in this word of pavarga. One is parishrama, that means hard labor. Parishrama. Shrama eve kevalam, you heard this. Dharmas vanustita pumsham vishvakshena katasya notpade yadi ratim shrama eva hi kevalam. So shrama, parishrama, that means all our endeavors without Krishna will be a fruitless labor. Or like, in other words, like Brahma said, if you only do you're giving up the path of bhakti or devotional service and instead choose the path of gyan, it's just beating a husk where there's no more grain in it. Fruitless labor. No grain in the end. But it looks like you want to, get the grain, but there's empty. Because in Gyan there's no juice, there's no rasa. Makes only your heart and your consciousness dull and hard. steel heart, steel framed. Huh? So Shrama eva kevalam, parishrama, that's the first symptom of pavarga. Parishrama, pa. Then pa. Pa means penila. Penila means hard work. Hard work. Like the foam emanating from a horse. When it is runs, foam is coming out because of hard work. Panila. Pa, pa, ba, pa, and ma. Ba means baya, fear, another symptom. We all know, don't have to be explained. Fear, so many anxieties, so many fears. Ba, bha, bhaya. What is it? Bhaya, bondage. Bondage. That means we are conditioned in our nature, according to our karma and nature we have. We are conditioned. We are not unlimited. We are not completely free to do everything we like. We are conditioned. We can only work inside of a frame given to us to work. We cannot go beyond that. So how can we be God? How can we be the Absolute? The Absolute knows everything all the time. He's Sarvagya. We are not. We know particularly a little something, not even that is perfect. So we are very much conditioned. We are very much bound by our karma. And then the last one is mrityu, death. So these are the 5 conditions in pavarga. And the opposite of it is apavarga. So the soul's destination and the birth of the human being, as a human being in a human body, for the soul is an opportunity to come out of this pavarga and attain the stage of apavarga. That means no bondage, no hard work, no fear, what is the other one? No death, deathless stage. And no defeat. It will not be abstracted. Like Krishna says, even a little progress on this path of devotional service can deliver you from the greatest fear. It will not become like a river. Kapila Dev gives the example of river. Ganga river floats to the ocean. You can put many powerhouses and on the way to the sea, but ultimately the water flows to the sea. Nobody can obstruct it, stop it. Not possible. So devotional service, if that springs by mercy of Guru Krishna Kripa, Bhakti Lata Beach, and that flows from the heart, that devotion, that bhakti, that cannot become stopped. It will flow to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. There's nothing in the world that can stop it. Only we can stop it. In case we are falling victim again to Maya or become offensive and deviate from the process of devotional service and the instruction of the spiritual master, Guru Avagya, then we are blockaded. Then the different anarthas taking over. So, therefore, Advaita Acharya and his devotees, Srivas Thakur, his brothers, Mukunda Datta, original, he was great kirtan singer, and so they were all residents in Navadvip, and they were all greatly anxious. Haridas Thakur was also present. So they were all praying, Gadadhar Pandit. Later on also, they prayed, please Lord, come and descend. And then, because of their prayers, because of the devotees' prayers, the Lord appeared to relieve their anxiety. And in this way the Sankirtan movement was started. And so when the Lord appeared to start the movement, the devotees cannot not say now, okay, thank you very much that you came, so now do your work. And we are going in vacation now. Then we have to assist. We have to become instrumental in the Lord's mission. This is Lord Chaitanya's desire. He said, I'm only one person. How much I can do myself? I brought the treasure of love of Godhead here, and I cannot distribute. I cannot relish and distribute it all on my own. So I need all your help. That's wonderful. That's how the Lord, although He actually is able to do it, He has the power to do it, but He makes Himself dependent on His devotees. Please, and He even begs, please help me, help, and take up this mission and spread it all over the world and make all these unfortunate Nitya-Bada souls happy in Krishna consciousness by chanting the holy name. And they said, if the Lord and the Panchatattva members see that all the devotees, all the people are drowning in the ocean of love of Godhead, some are up and some are down, some are jubilant, laugh and cry and roll on the ground and dance in ecstasy. When the Lord sees that and His associates, they become they become very exceedingly happy and satisfied. And Prabhupada writes in Prabhupada, this is the perfection ultimately, when the Lord is satisfied. And therefore that's our purpose, to use this body, as Lord Chaitanya told, quoting Bhagavatam, Eta vacham sapalyam dehinam iha dehisha pranara atadiya vacha shreya charanam sada. Now we attain the human form of life, now we should help others, other embodied living entities. Dehi means the embodied living entities. We are in the Deha, we are the devotees who are realized this is the only help, the only remedy. So now we should try to help others. Lord Chaitanya said, now relish this process of bhakti, the sweetness, and share it and distribute it to others. This is our duty. And how we should do it? He told with prana, with our life force, prana. As long as we have prana, we are alive. If prana is out of body, then body is dead, because prana, the soul is floating in the prana of the material body. So if this prana, if the soul leaves, it leaves with the prana. So the prana should be engaged first, the body, senses. Prana also means senses. Body means senses. Therefore another name of senses is prana. Because only if we have prana in our eyes and on our tongue and in our ears, we can hear, see and taste. When prana is not there, nothing functions. Therefore if prana is disturbed in your eyes or in your ear, there's blockade, you cannot see properly, you cannot not hear properly. Therefore is Ayurvedic treatment, they know how to treat these prana blockades, to remove them. Suddenly can see again, can hear again, nice, can taste properly again. All the senses can function properly again if prana is floating in powerful. And this way you can actually live a long life, 80, 90, 100 years. Actually a human being has a chance to live 120, 140 years. They say nowadays in Kali Yuga. Even now you can live up to 120, 140 years. There are people who live 108, 110 years. Japanese, they're very famous for that. And I think here in India also there must be sages, and yogis and rishis, in the Himalayas. We don't know them. They live up to 300 and more years. That means the prana is fully in complete. It's full power. So, but anyway, what is the use if you have a long life and if you just vegetate like a tree? That's the point of Shukadev or of Bhagavatam. The trees the trees also have a long life, but not so much conscious. So we have to use our consciousness in this time we are living. Then even a short life can be very meaningful and can bring a big result. Bigger than a long life where you only vegetate. So the goal of a devotee is not to have a long life uselessly wasted, but to have a life, purposefully used, engaged in Krishna service every moment, not wasting time. Therefore Lord Chaitanya requested to engage our prana, our life force, our body, senses, in Krishna service, in spreading Krishna consciousness. Prana, artha. Artha means achievement. Money, your profession, your qualities. That's all artha. Your belongings. Engage it also in the Sankirtan mission. Artha. Diya. Intelligence. Engage it in the making plans, getting ideas, how to spread Krishna consciousness in more and more effective way, according to time, place, and circumstances. That's diya needed. And Krishna, as we know, gives the diya, dadami buddhi yogam tam. He will give intelligence how we can spread Krishna consciousness in more effectively, according to time, place, and circumstances. And of course, Acharya give intelligence and vision. But even Srila Prabhupada told, I give you a plan, I give you the whole concept, so now it's in you. With your intelligence, you should fill it out and make it perfect. He did not everything himself. He made everything prepared, but now the rest is in us and in the future generations. So we cannot be lazy and be inactive. And the other one is the vacha, words, by preaching and by speaking about Krishna, about devotional service. Vacha is engaged. So prana, artha, diya, vacha. Shreya acharanam, sadha. Should be engaged for the ultimate benefit. Shreya achara. To act for the ultimate purpose, not for praya. There's prayas and shreyas. Mostly people are interested in prayas. But devotees, we should be interested in shreyas, in the ultimate benefit. And we should also show people the light, or show them the way by our own example, like Lord Chaitanya. Prachar, achar. Because Lord Chaitanya didn't only spoke, he was also acting. And although he's the Supreme Lord, he acted as a devotee. So that we can follow. And Advaita Acharya, although he was also Supreme Lord, acted as a devotee, so that we can follow. And all the great liberated souls of Lord Chaitanya, the Gaura Bhakta Vrindas, the eternally liberated soul, Nitya Siddha, they acted like ordinary souls, to show us, to encourage us to also become devotee. Would they all come as liberated souls from very beginning and all the time, perfect? And not showing example so that we can follow, able to follow, like a school teacher teaches the pupils, the children, the disciples, to follow in a simple way, so that everyone can take up this bhakti sadhana, so that and to make ultimately our life perfect. So we need the guidelines of the sadhu vritti. the good example of the devotees and acharyas. Not Nishida. Nishida Achara will lead to hell. We should follow Sita Achara, given by Sadhu Vritti, Sat Achara. This is needed. So follow the good example of the devotees. Not follow the foolish examples. Many, they all follow the foolish. And the entire Upaniya Manas, the Pisha Tantra, Urudam Nipadha. And the destination is to one blind follows another blind and they fall down the cliff. So we follow the person who have knowledge, like Sri Krishna is also quoting the sages, the Tattvadarshis. They have opinion, they teach, and Krishna accepted their teachings. And if Krishna is accept, what to speak of us, then we also should accept. And can 110% believe it and go for it, and don't speculate and think I have to find out myself. Of course you can find out yourself, but that takes you maybe thousands of millions of lifetimes. But now we have opportunity to get the direct knowledge from the realized personalities and from the Lord Himself, and we foolishly drop it away. We don't want to accept because of faithlessness. And Krishna says that for the faithlessness there is no good luck. They're condemned life after life. So faith is the beginning at Shraddha, and from there everything will come up to Prema. We cannot skip over. It's nothing for free. It's a process. Rupa Goswami is giving, empowered by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And only by this sadhana bhakti coming up to, we can come ultimately mercifully on the path of raga and ultimately bhava and prema. Okay, thank you very much. I'm stopping here. Maybe some questions? Muki, understood something? Good question, huh?
Yes, not only a little.
No, you wrote a lot.
Parabhavas is also from 5, count to 5.
Parabhava Yavad Abodhachata, yes, 555.
Yeah.
555. Yes. 3 times 5, with a dot between. 2 dots and 3 fives.
Yes, remember the word.
And SB.
You quoted the example of Mayavadis trying to use sort of that one pot.
Yeah, the one pot. Yeah, famous example.
It's very difficult to sort of, in a discussion or an argument, it's difficult to counteract this when some of our friends say this. I mean, yes, when the pot is broken, the air inside or the ether inside merges with the hole outside.
Yeah.
And one more small thing.
I want to give you the Ramanujacharya, because he was the first one who fought against the doctrine of Shankara. Ramanuj. Yeah, he was the first one of the Vaishnavacharyas, and then after him Madhva came, and then all others, and then ultimately comes Lord Chaitanya, Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. So Ramanuja is similar actually to Mayavad, but with the definition of a clear understanding of the oneness, that there is also we are one, but there is also a difference in it, So he wrote a book. Srila Prabhupada mentioned somewhere in his books in his purports where he quotes Ramanuja Acharya with this example of the pot. So he made, like Madhvacharya, he also made 100, there's one famous book where he makes 100 arguments about Mayavad doctrine. Ramanuja also has a similar book, but I forgot the name of it, where he defeats actually this Mayavadi concept and all their so-called logical examples. But logic is not perfect. It's not because we cannot follow in Vedic knowledge. There are actually three sources of main evidence. One is logic, other one is perception, direct perception. Yes, and the other one is Shabda. But ultimately, only Shabda is perfect. When in case perception and what is the other one?
Anuman means estimation.
Yes.
And Shabda.
Yeah. In case these other two, are in case they are favorable, in line with the Shabda, we can accept. But if they are not in line with Shabda, we have to reject it, because Shabda is the ultimate proof. It's Amnaya. Yeah, it's the yes. It's the supreme only authority, Veda. But if there's Anuman and how we call it? Pratyaksh. Yes. The see, the vision, the perception, and the logic. If they are in union or with the same agreement, if they come also ultimately to the conclusion of the same, like Shruti, then one can accept. But if they not come to the same conclusion, if they differ with their logic and with their arguments and with their perception, they say, no, we cannot agree with it because we realize it in another way, in a materialistic way, due to imperfect senses of mind and intellect. So Vaishnava acharyas and the sages, they reject. And they never take these other so-called proofs as a proof if it is not in union with Shruti. And what is the other one?
Small thing. You mentioned that.
And Ramanujacharyas, therefore he says, this logic or this example of the Mayavadis is based on observation or on their logic, It's not founded by the Shruti. And therefore, Ramanuja rejected it. They say it cannot be like that, because the Lord, even if he comes to the material, when he comes to the material world as avatar, he is not accepting conditioning. He's not conditioned by a material body. Never. He's param always, even in the material world. But we jivas, we are very small. The Lord is vibhu. He's very very big and even at the same time small. He can be in both conditions, in both absolutely perfect. He can. Therefore, many times Bhagavatam says, give the example of Krishna. Like, doesn't matter if Krishna is a few months old, or a baby, or if he is 125 years old, or if he's 5,000 or 10,000 years old, he's always absolute and absolute power. He's always Bhagavan. He's never. He's not becoming Bhagavan by mystic power or by yoga exercises or tapasya. Krishna doesn't need that. But our modern, I would say, avatars, they all became Bhagavan somehow. I would say, self-made, yeah, self-made gurus and Jagat gurus and I don't know what avatars, but they're conditioned. They are allured by Maya still. Therefore, there's always some scandals from one after another from these avatars. Of course, they also blame Krishna and then say, yeah, Krishna also had so many scandals. But Krishna is God. Krishna didn't made his rasa dance with materialistic women. He made the dance. This dance is a manifestation of his internal Ladini Shakti energy. Ananda Chimaya Ras. It's not an external energy. Krishna has no interest in external energy. He also likes women, but for that he creates Radharani and the gopis. But they're not from material nature, they're from the same quality like air, like him. Huh?
Can't even touch him, materially can't even touch him.
Yeah, so cannot touch him, no. He's always in transcendental position, and his energy also. Only the Maya is in the that's her job. Therefore Maya has no position in the spiritual world. This Maya, this Mahamaya. Yoga Maya is actually also spiritual energy. Actually, there's only one energy, but she has different functions. But in the material world and in the spiritual world. In forgetfulness of Krishna, she acts as a covering energy, as bewildering and dragging down, if we are engaged in devotional service, she becomes Hara. She is attracting us towards the lotus feet of the Lord, to participating in her energy, in becoming assistant in her energy to serve and please the Lord's senses. And that's perfection. Rishikena Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhakti Ruchateya. And the small question?
This first thing I've heard, that the super soul resides within the soul.
Yeah.
What we so far understood from our acharyas or from the literature, that super soul and the soul are sitting side by side. It's tinier than the soul because it's residing inside the soul.
This is also proper. Both is proper. Because he's everywhere. So that means he's also within the soul. And he's also besides the soul. Because he's in every atom.
Like seed of a banyan tree or a
yeah. But we think, how is it possible? How can the Lord be everywhere in every atom? So Brahma Samhita gives example. The sun is situated in one place, but it reflects in different waters and sand and water and pots, and the same sun is there. And you think, all the suns are there. There are so many suns. Yes. It seems to be there are many suns. It's one sun, but it's present everywhere. So therefore the Lord is simultaneously present everywhere and is simultaneously also not here. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Oh, there is another verse. I forgot now. Gita verse, 4th chapter somewhere. That the Lord is with his energy Abhyakta Murtina, he's everywhere present, but in the same time he's also not there. Good. Yes?
At which level of devotion service devotee become Brahma Bhuta and start pure devotion service?
Brahma Bhuta is the concept of consciousness where you are free of the guna. No. The Brahma Bhuta is the stage where you're free of gunas, of the Tamaguna, Rajaguna, and Sattva guna. This is the stage of Brahma Bhuta. You realize that you're eternal spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. This is Brahma Bhuta. But Brahma Bhuta is Shanta. That means it's inactive. You're not active on the level of Brahma Bhuta. Therefore, if you only remain in Brahma Bhuta, that's the stage. If you don't make further progress, Harihara, if you don't make further progress you agree with that? If you don't make further progress from Brahma Bhuta, you will fall. because we cannot remain in a marginal position. You have to decide to go to the complete perfection or go back to the temporary, to the stage where you already went. Therefore Brahma says, patanti adha. Aroya krishnena param padam tada patanti adha yushmad angraya. Yenyera vindaksha vimukta manina tvai astabhava avishudha buddhaya. If the buddhi, the soul, the consciousness or the intelligence is unclear, polluted, then by not fixing it on Krishna's service, we remain unintelligent and therefore we fall down. Therefore Shukadev Goswami in the second canto, second chapter, first two chapters, first steps of progress of devotional service, of liberation. Step by step, he explains the path, how to attain liberation. And he says that there are two kinds of Vedic paths that lead to liberation, yoga paths. One is step by step, and one is direct. Remember? And and he says, but all these two paths are dependent on bhakti. But he recommended to Maharaj Parikshit, because these yogis who choose the empiric path for liberation, they ultimately have to depend on bhakti to make their life and their goal successful, to merge with the Brahman and to become a light particle around Mahavishnu. That's the destination of them. They make such a big endeavor to just become a light particle, remaining a light particle of Atma, of Brahma Bhuta, around the circle of circumambulating, or dancing around Mahavishnu. So I'm not finished. So they attain it ultimately only by bhakti. That goal. Without bhakti, you cannot even attain that goal. You will fall already. Because those who by bhakti attain the goal of Brahma Sayuja around the body of Mahavishnu, they will not fall anymore. Shukadev says, they remain there. Because they are in full ananda. Because they are surrounding the ananda Maya Purusha. Mahavishnu, So if the soul is looking after Ananda Maya Abhyasat, so if the soul doesn't want to give it up anymore. So they're happy there. The Vaishnava is not happy. Therefore Shukadev Goswami, he realized, he only tested Maharaj Parikshit by telling him these two paths, because there were also other sages who were not Vaishnava interested so much. There were Jnana Mishra, or there were Jnanis, Brahmavadis. In that time, this was very trendy, very popular process, Brahmavada. So to pacify them, and so Shukadev spoke about these two paths of Vedas, of liberation. But he understood, for you, Maharaj Parikshit, you're my disciple. For you and for me, these two paths are not attractive. It's not our path. I recommend you, don't go these two paths. Go the path of Bhakti Marg. But the real Bhakti Marg, authentic, Bhakti Marg, that means pure devotional service, not some hocus pocus, some invention invented by some yogi. So real Bhakti Marg. Bhakti Marg means pure devotional service. Vidhi Marg, Raga Marg, to Prema Bhava, to Prema Bhakti. 4 stages. Actually 3. Sadhana, Bhava, Prema. Das ist Bhakti Marg. Sadhana, if you do it, I would say, faithfully, under guidance of spiritual master, leads to Raga, and then to Bhava, and to Prema. Don't be satisfied just because you are a perfect Vidhi sadhaka. That's not perfection. That's only beginning. Then you only become a candidate to enter the Raga, and ultimately Bhava and Prema. Therefore, a devotee should always remain humble. Never criticize anyone, never see fault, and become envious and skeptical about anything. You only harm yourself. You have to become extremely humble, because only the Bhakti Marg is only open for the meek and humble. This is called Dainya. Dainya is Prema. Without Prema, you have no Dainya. That's not possible. Without Dainya, no Prema. So it's one. Dainya means humility, extreme humility, utter humility. Without Krishna, I'm nowhere. I have no life. I'm dead. Dead-like. You feel like that? Yeah? No?
For me, it is too high level.
Yeah, I say this. I also not, but I only say this is ultimately. We have to try to follow Sharanagati Dainya by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's the beginning of humility in sadhana bhakti. To make yourself dependent in humility, to submit yourself. I'm very low, very insignificant, and I need the mercy of the Lord, because without the mercy of the Lord, I have no chance to make progress on the process of sadhana bhakti, and ultimately the bhakti-yoga process up to the perfection. So therefore he starts with Dainya, not with Anukulena Krishnanu, with Anukulasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Vachanam. Because the Sanskrit verse says first accept everything favorable, reject that what is unfavorable, to make yourself dependent on Krishna, and always take Krishna as your protector. Be meek and humble and fully surrender. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he makes it Spiegel reflex, how to say, mirror reflex. He opposite. Because in certain Sanskrit terminology, that what is in the end is actually the beginning. That was emphasized in the end. That means what is it? This Dainya, or this humility. Karpanye. Karpanye. Shadvidha Sharanagati. Karpanye. Atmanikshepa. Atmanivedanam. Atmanikshepa is the same. Karpanye. Meek and humbleness. So he starts with meek and humbleness first, then surrender. Then dependence on Krishna, accepting Krishna's protection. Then rejecting unfavorable and accepting the favorable. That's in his Sharanagati songbook, like that. But so or so, it's perfect. Yeah.
And I just listened to the lecture of Prabhupada, say that before you fully realize Brahma-Bhuta, before you become fully Brahma-Bhuta, you can start pure devotion service.
Yeah.
And so I think what level of devotion service is really start pure devotion service.
Yeah. I can explain you. I try to explain you according to my understanding or little realization. It is if you follow sadhana bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, like that, that's what we are practicing without offense, faithfully, Adhau Shraddha, Bhajana Kriya, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, accepting initiation then, and like that, and fully dedicate yourself to follow the order of spiritual master, you become purified. You have to become purified if you are not a pretender. Or a cheater, or a hypocrite. You have to become purified. The heart, consciousness become purified. And you will ultimately realize you are not this body, you are spirit soul. And that's Brahma. That means it's for a devotee, the Brahma Bhuta realization, where you actually can take up the process of really engaging in pure devotional service without false motivation, without selfishness, without bodily concept. Because ultimately we can only serve Krishna on the platform of liberation. Ultimately. Only that will ultimately attract Krishna. But that doesn't mean that now we are on the conditioned stage, we are hopeless, we are conditioned, and we are useless. Better we give it up, because I'm anyway not on the level, I'm not qualified. That actually makes you qualified. And things like that, makes you actually qualified. I'm not qualified, but I'm still have faith in this process. I don't give it up. I'm very determined.
Be there.
Huh?
Just be there. Just be there. Don't get out.
Yeah, just be there. Don't go away. Because if the spark is out of the fire, what will happen with the spark? It will not stay spark for a long time. It will become extinguished. Therefore, if you have the spark, remain in the fire or near the fire. Always find out good association of devotees. Then you are in the fire. And engage in devotional service, Shravanam Kirtanam. That's the fire. That's the fire for us. Then later on, it become more and more fired up. And then you ultimately, because now we cannot go directly in contact with Krishna, because Krishna is so pure, so I would say inconceivable. You cannot understand him on the level we are now. We will be, maybe you could not even recognize him. Because we are still too much conditioned with our mind and senses. But if the mind and senses become purified by bhakti-yoga process, sadhana bhakti, and you attain raga, ultimately, some attraction, free, main anarthas don't disturb you anymore. So you can feel some attraction to Krishna's name and Krishna's deity form, and worship with love and devotion, with love. Not out of duty, only because you must, out of a fear, that maybe if you don't do it, I go to hell, or I will become punished. So you do it free, out of affection, out of love. Like a mother, she is not taking care for her child just out of duty, but out of love, because there is a very intimate relationship between the mother and the child. It's a dependence. Understand? So with Krishna is same, if the more you become attached to Krishna, free of material desires and identification, then you can become more and more attracted to Krishna, and Krishna he become more and more attracted to you. not to your body. Because we cannot attract Krishna with our material impurities. We can only attract him with our love and with our pure consciousness of emotion, of emotional feelings towards him. That's how he responds. I think we have to stop here. I've completely forgot because we'll have Arctic here, not over there. So we have to move out immediately, or stay and sing, or I don't know, maybe somebody sings. So we have to anyway to stop. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Glory to Prabhupada.